Right, that's us.
2 seconds, I'll just do a wee tea out. So what's this club you've got? Pitch and range. Just maybe hit like 10 minutes, just a few pitches and 7s to make sure I've got the full iron shots dialed in what we've been, but then I need 20 minutes on. I'm hitting all my chips fat. I've just lost like the simplest little chip. I know it's wet and muddy, but like see, I'm just my chipping technique's gone to shit.
One side on.
Don't know what I'm doing when I'm standing over a chip.
So if you look at that, Craig, so obviously path goes too far out to the right, okay. Attack angle, too much on the up, club face, too closed. Okay, so that feeling of the slight cut shot, remember. So if you set yourself up again, take it back towards me. So the club face is no bad there, to be fair to you. But when you're turning through, remember the feeling of the club going left slightly. Okay, so as you turn through, don't be afraid to let it go left. I know that's a death move with your driver, but for your irons, so get that wee feeling of just what you're almost going to hit a wee cut feeling with your irons. And don't hammer it. Don't have to hammer it. Just that 3/4 wedge to start with. Make you almost visualise a wee bit of a left to right on this. Okay. There you go. I want you to keep better path, so that's coming together. I want you to keep that feeling until you feel you're going to move it a little bit left to right. Okay.
So I've got that there as well.
Yeah, flight was definitely more neutral. So what feeling would make you hit it left or right?
I feel like I'm swinging left and holding the club face open.
Exactly. Feeling of going left and the club face staying open, that's the feeling you're looking for. What you'll find hopefully when we get that is that what will happen, you see, is that because club path and attack angle in effect are the same thing, but just on a different leveling, that makes sense?
How's that club path still going right?
That's not really going.
I feel like I'm swinging like 5 degrees left.
That's it, you come around the front. So if you think of what it is, right, is club path is the direction, attack angle is the up and down. So the two are in effect, they're measuring the same thing but just on a different level. So the more, that, as we've proved, the more you go out to the right, the more the club comes up through the ball. Great for your driver, one of the things, you know, your driver now back there, on the up, fantastic. But with a wedge, in particular short iron, if you come in, that's where you actually lose that ability to hit down in it, and also that's where the hook comes from. So 100% right for you. I think club face is better at address, you're not as closed, but definitely a wee bit open with the stance, and I think you called it, you hit the nail on the head. Through the ball, swing left, feel like the club's going in there as you're coming through the ball. Now that, as I say, we can't do that with the driver for obvious reasons, but for your wedges, if we can slowly bring that more down to neutral, we should start to see that wee hook disappearing on us.
And then I feel like my club face is wildly open.
You know, I think your club face is pretty square there. Yeah. I think the main thing is swing it left with the open face. Don't swing it out to the right with the open face. Okay. more promiscuous maybe.
I really feel like I'm exiting left.
Exit left, you called it. Ah! So if you come and have a wee look at this. If we look at this one will be quite an interesting one. So this was 3.2, right? So right there. And you see that gap? See that gap between the purple shaft and the club shaft there? So if you watch this here, let's see if I can get Max Homer with a wedge in his hand, which is quite nice. Right, so if we watch these two swing, this will be quite interesting. Because he does it, this guy's excellent when he does it here, okay.
He comes up quite steep though.
Yeah, a wee bit. And then, but through the ball, look at that club shaft through the ball.
Yeah.
See how it's almost tracking
Matching
down,
it,
it's
yeah.
almost tracking down the original. Now, it's quite hard to do that, but that's a great thought for you there. You see that there?
Yeah.
That feeling of the club shaft through the ball, so staying on line as it's coming through.
Yeah.
You might even feel a wee bit, you stay there. Swing it back to you like me. You might even feel it helps you a wee bit to sort of stay a bit deeper on that left hip as well through the shot. You feel that? I'm not getting in there a wee bit. Feel that there. That's it. And so you don't have to be violent with this. This can be a 3/4 shot. Ball flight was more neutral, maybe a fraction heavy, but ball flight was better. I just forgot to click it over. It's more kind of the ball flight you want.
Yeah.
There, you see that there? It's more like the ball flight. There you go. You see you've zeroed out the club path, and then you're now 2.8 on the way down on with the hit. Were you practicing just outside the ball? That's it. So on you go. So same again.
Don't come off
That
that.
little 3/4 wedge, centred, exit left. There you go. That's it.
Gotta keep me draining that, eh?
Yeah. Oh, come on, shows that one. That was a nice one. That someone picked it up. Definitely better though.
Those numbers would have been good.
I think that might have even been a wee bit minus that path there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we practice swing again. You don't have to just practice swing the side of the ball. Don't get overly open with that club face, but that's enough. Okay, on you go. I feel different when I'm holding you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I take that as a bad one. Third pass was it's just the
That's a massive difference, though, isn't it? Look at the path and the attack angle.
yeah.
0.6 and then you compare that with the path and the attack angle of the first one you hit. Look at the first one you hit. 3 degrees on nearly on the up through the ball. In fact, that one was on the level. The first, there you go. That one was on the up. You see, so that makes a huge difference. That comparison with those two shots there,
Yeah.
much better.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Chipping.
Okay. When you say chipping, what sort of length?
Like
Very short. Or?
Yeah, just like. Because we worked on the wee pitch shots last time, but like I just see just basic little.
So what's
chips.
it? I mean, you're talking about just trying to drop it out sort of there.
I'll tell you the ball flight I'm wanting. It's like.
Well, let's just land. Because it's not a proper. Let's just land the ball in the sunshine here somewhere. Maybe about 3 feet in the sunshine. Okay. What club did you take?
mind if I'm trying.
What wedges have you got?
Well, a gap wedge, a
How do you
sand
take your
wedge.
gap wedge?
Gap wedge is 48 degree, that's and these are the bounces on them.
Right.
10 F grind,
Okay, we'll take that one.
yeah,
Take that
D
one.
grind.
We're just looking at the strike on your chip. Just land it on that first ball for me. Okay, so I'm not interested in it. You didn't have to go there on. I just want to land about where that first ball is. Okay, try and go really delicate and try and land it on that wee ball in the rough. So just try to carry the concrete.
That would have been fat.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the one.
So the wee, so shots like that almost.
Aye.
We talked about that.
The more delicate it is, the more delicate it is, the more I'm catching it fat.
Did we ever talk about the putting stroke? No.
Yeah, I tried the toe up putting stroke and it just I've loved it. I tried it 3 times on course, the toe up putting stroke, and it just
See, I
didn't
think
work.
what that does generally, because if you think about when you're putting, in effect, it's taking a lot of the moving parts out of your swing. You know, you've not got really any wrist action at all. So, but doing it from a chip and stance though, so you have to do it from an open chip and stance. If I go toe up and I go there, right? And if I just make a tiny little putting stroke down, okay.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Very nice. And then what it does is it takes away a lot of the moving parts, because one of the things when you're chipping, you got to remember there's always a bit of movement and the hips are moving, there's a wee bit of wrist action, and sometimes it's quite difficult to be delicate. You hit a shot and you notice it comes off really hot.
Especially these little winter muddy lives. I need to be able to pick it clean and get a good solid ball turf interaction.
That's what you want there.
That's what I want. So
Soft hands, Craig, soft hands.
You still you have soft hands. Go and show me your putter. Take your putter. Right, just show me a 10-foot putt. Just up. So do you have your same grip on your putter that you have on your? What do you do at the back there? What are you doing at the back? Are you interlocking? No.
no.
No. So you got a different grip, haven't you, for your putter?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's what you do. You know what to do.
But they got one.
Just come in and hit a putt. Yeah, so the grip, if you think about a putting grip, you should stay there. Bring it up, don't you? Bring it up here. Your putting grip, you go more that way, but your putting grip's designed to take your wrists out of play. Okay? So basically, if you go there, right? If I get you to grip that like you're gripping your putter. Okay? You can go a wee bit up there if you want, that's it. Okay? Now shuffle back away from the ball. Now go middle of the stance and go slightly open to the feet. That's it. Lean in your left foot a bit more. So, but you're thinking putt. Okay? This unit here is just going to, like a wee pendulum, just going to go back and forward. On you go. Just a little pendulum back and forward. No, it's a putt. It's not a chip. Just a 10-foot putt. That's it. I want you to just gently brush the ground. Okay, up to the ball now. We shuffle in. Back in your stance. Be forward. Just lean into your left side. That's it. That's it. Now just a little putt. That's better. See, I think I think you've been doing with that. What's this? I think you've been actually you've been using your putting stroke on it, which in effect, think about when you putt. you've generally got the ball. So when you putt, a couple of things. You've got the ball a wee bit forward in your stance. You know, you're actually not really trying to hit the ground. So if you think of it, you're not really. It's almost like you're not descending into the ball. It's almost a level movement through the ball. We need a slightly descending blow in this, okay? Otherwise, if I just do my putting stroke, watch this. This is my putting stroke. Watch this. And there's the heavy one.
Yeah.
You see. So what you're doing, what I'm doing is I'm dropping it back in my stance. I'm leaning left.
How far back?
Middle's fine, but I'm leaning left. So now my club's going to naturally bottom out a little bit in front of the ball. You see that there? So even though it's just a brush, it's in front of the ball, and that is what gives me the strike. If I set up behind the ball, the club bottoms out here. Okay, so that I think is probably going to be the key for you, I think. So go.
And so
keep your glove off. Keep your glove off.
Don't interlock then.
Just give me your putting grip. Give me your putting grip. That's it. So practice stroke. Right, so putting grip, hands up, weight forward. That's it. Now it's a putting stroke. It's a putting stroke that brushes the ground. That's it. Up to the ball now. So it's a putting stroke that just brushes the ground. That's it. See how that's going to catch it cleaner?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
It feels.
Feels what?
It feels like I'm super
you are.
forward
Yeah,
and.
wee bit. Practice swing. Now, get away. That
better
no,
lock.
you're putting. Because you see, you've got to remember, what's this? You come around here. Your golf grip, like we were saying with Harry there, is designed to give you wrist hinge. Okay? So there's but you don't want wrist hinge when you putt. That's why very, very few pros will use their golf grip. That's why you've got all sorts of weird, Bryson DeChambeau like this. It's all designed to take the wrists out of play.
Yeah.
So the idea is you pick your putting grip so that when you're swinging, there's no wrist action.
Yeah.
That little bit of wrist action gives you too much power. That's why when it comes to the delicate ones, right, if you've got that little bit of wrist action kicking in, it's quite hard to hit that wee 5 foot chip.
It's fractionally, but that's a flub in the winter.
Yeah, well, if you imagine as well, if you're almost decelling on it, whereas if you think, right, I'm going to take all the wrist action out of it, and it's just going to be like a putting stroke, okay? And then all of a sudden, Calder used to talk about hitting the 2 foot chip. So listen, so with that there, you watch this here. So this is literally going to make an arse of this. If I try and hit the 2 foot chip. There you go, you see, that's a hard thing to do, to actually hit a 2 foot chip solid. Because most people, the club's coming in too fast and have to decel on it, you see. But yeah, so I think that's what the key is. I think for you, get your putting grip on it. Don't go golf grip, because the golf grip will give you that. Right? Putting grip, but ball middle, weight forward, and then just think of a putting stroke that just gently brush. And as it's brushing the ground, it's brushing the ground slightly in front of where the ball is, you see, rather than brushing the ground back there where you're going to maybe catch it a wee bit heavy. I might try and get this on the video actually. Just a second.
Right.
Yeah, so, okay, great. So just a putting stroke. Hands up, putting stroke. It's just a little putting stroke here, don't need a big one. Okay, hands up, little putting stroke.
A wee bit thin.
There we go. Can you come? Can we look at that? It's a very effective technique, this, when you're just trying to carry a ball no more than about 10 feet over the fringe. And take away these lines here. You see your wrists are quite quiet there, you see that there? So if you look at your setup there, so that's good. So you've got your weight on you've got your ball back, you've got your weight on your left side, and you've got your hands a wee bit,
Yeah.
get your hands a wee bit in front of the ball here. There you go, you see that? That's lovely. There you go, and obviously when you putt, your head stays quite quiet, doesn't it? So you're really just going back and just coming back to the same position there, you see there. And then the club just gently clips the ground and pops it up.
Yeah.
So everything's very quiet.
Yeah.
Everything's very quiet. If you go and show me what you would have done before with your old technique. So just give me your old technique, okay? If you can remember it.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember it?
Yeah.
Right, your old technique, just try and hit that same shot. On you go. comes in with a lot more power, doesn't it? It's quite hard to drag the power out of that.
Yeah.
Don't really actually see much difference here, but it's a wee bit more subtle. There's a little bit more wrist action, a little bit more movement as you're coming through there. So when it goes back, so there's that wee bit of wrist action. You see that?
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
So in fact, you can see a little bit more moving parts in the whole
Yeah.
body there generally, isn't there? Compared to this one here, where everything's just a little bit quieter because you're thinking putting. Look how much more stable your lower body is there.
Yeah,
You see
yeah,
that
yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Everything's much more stable.
Yeah.
It's a much quieter stroke.
Yeah.
Too many moving parts. There you can see the hips are moving.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everything's moving about a little bit there. You see that?
Yeah.
There? And that all these little moving parts are hard to control when you're under a wee bit of pressure.
Yeah. Try some of these in.
So I think putt and grip definitely more upright as well, and hands forward, hold forward. There you go. Feel like your weight's leaning slightly in front. And then so what you're doing, you'll be putt and stroke, your club's hitting the ground or brushing the ground there. That's it. And I would even, to the point if you normally putt with your grip off, I would take my glove off. And you want it to simulate putt and stroke as much as possible.
Yeah.
That's it. An inch that way with your feet and lean into it. Yeah, it feels almost ridiculous the amount you lean into it. That
Yeah.
looks quite good.
Yeah.
That's more solid.
Yeah.
That's more solid.
Very delicate, isn't it? Feels like it's just off the big toe here, which is fine.
But if you turn your feet square on, you're actually in the come round. So you're actually in effect in the middle of your stance. But if you
Yeah.
turn your toes to the left now a wee bit, it seems further back than it is.
It feels like
That's actually the middle of your stance, believe it or not.
Yeah, it just feels, because I'm opening up the stance, it
Yeah, it
just
feels further back.
it's, the visual is it's here,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
but yeah.
That's exactly right.
So
Hands up, and definitely that
keep
makes
it in a lock of my grip, don't you?
yeah, just stay with the putt and grip. That's it, and here's a cute one. This is the ultimate test for you, right? You're gonna try and drop the ball in the concrete there. Okay, your wee practice swing first. Up with that's it. Up with the hands forward. Yeah, you go. Now you're talking. Now you're talking. Now just a little 10-foot putt. That's it. That was lovely. Same again. Weight forward. 10-foot putt. There you go. You feel it?
Yeah.
Nice. Think how hard that would be. Just go back.
I feel like I'm
Go back to your old style. Go back to your old style.
Yeah.
And try and imagine trying to land a chip on that concrete there. Just try and imagine chipping it onto that concrete. You did it, but you decelled on it.
Aye.
Did you see the decel on that?
Yeah.
And even just the way you were setting up with a sort of wee waggle, it just
Aye.
looked like there was far too much power coming into that one.
Yeah. So I guess with this then, because then I can control my distance better because I'm, it's
Yeah,
a
it
putt
comes
and
off dead.
stroke,
Well,
so-
one thing I would say about this, sorry, you come around here, is this is less effective when it doesn't feel like a putt and stroke. So what you'll find is there's a range to what you're doing here. Example, right? So if I come in and I'll do it to the point where that's any more than that, it's not really a putt and stroke anymore.
Yeah.
So if I do this, watch this. So you might have 15 feet, but the good news for you is you've got different clubs.
Mhm.
So if you've got the edge of the green there and your pin's that orange flag there, you could take your 7 or your 8 iron,
Yeah.
and you could come in with your 7 or your 8 iron, just dink it over the fringe 3 feet on the green and run it the whole way. So it's quite good just for varying the clubs a little bit.
Yeah.
You can. In fact, it's less effective with a more lofty
So-
club.
Aye, so the one that's the real challenge is like, say I'm a bit short-sighted and I've not got a lot of green to work with. I have to get it kind of up in the air and land. This is my 58 degree.
You can still do it a wee bit like that. So putt and grip. Is that your putt and grip?
Yeah.
changed that punger about 3 times.
That's another lesson.
Isn't it right? What's this guy?
You're like me, you didn't listen, Craig.
That's another lesson. Fucking grip is.
Fucking grip is how you see you've got a wee overlap there at the back. You see?
Yeah.
You've got that. You weren't doing that. You were double hand gripping that last one.
Yeah.
That's it. That's your putting grip. That's it. So go back to your wedge and just keep your putting grip on that wedge. Yeah. You go in there. Practice swing. Away from it. That's it. And get up there and forward. And just a little pendulum punch. This will not come off high, by the way.
Yeah.
This will come off a wee bit lower than you're expecting. Okay. That'll just pop it over the fringe. Now, if you want height on it, you're going to have to play a pitch. Okay, so if you're wanting something to stop higher, you actually have to pitch it actively. Another inch that way with your feet. There you go. You feel that?
Yeah.
That was nice. I think that's the way to go with that one. I would go with that putting stroke.
Yeah. And then that's my actual chips, and then when it graduates into the pitch, it's what we were talking about there, not wide to wide, just
I would just keep it back in the stance, hands forward.
yeah, same sort of idea, but we're just
Elongating it a little bit. If you want a little bit more height on a golf ball, you have to this is 58. Isn't it? So what you got? You come around here. So through the ball, you have to actively let the club almost catch up a wee bit more, so a wee bit of an earlier release. See if I can play this. Okay.
yeah.
That one there.
Yeah.
That's another shot.
I mean,
altogether.
I know how I'm quite good at that shot.
Little bit of a flop shot.
Yeah, I'm quite good at that shot. But again, sometimes with that one, like, because that's just a release one, I quite like that shot. But we'll handle.
Yeah, that's lovely there. That's lovely. Yeah, so what you're saying is the
Aye.
the smaller ones that are the problem.
It's the ones in and around the green where I've got to, like, you know,
There you go. That's it. There you go. Hands forward.
I've never felt like that before.
So
So
just think it up. And don't force it. As soon as you're
Aye.
forcing it, it's not going to work. So that's only going to work from within 10, 15 feet of the fringe. So it's got to feel like a putting stroke. As soon as it feels like you're trying to hit it, it's not going to be as effective. So I think you can get another inch in front of that ball. That was better. That's the one. Okay.
okay, good. We'll work on that.
Food for thought.
Needed that one.
Probably, I think
That
ideally with something like that, we would have been outside on the grass, off the muddy lies.
Yeah.
I mean, that's we'll have to maybe leave that because we're a bit out of commission at the moment.
We'll get there.
But certainly that is a good option for you, that wee sort of chip putt technique.
I'll try that today.